Chris Partridge. Super excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
We've known each other for quite a while, and you've been my beer rep for the last 8 years since I've been at Silvio's, and super excited to have you here today because we've known each other well, and I love the product, and I know you love the product as well. So thanks for coming. Appreciate it. First podcast. It's the original. It's the OG. So who knows what could happen today? It could go pear-shaped pretty quick with it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Possibly.
So yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So obviously, Cooper's beer is synonymous with quality. It's been around a while. Tell us a little bit about how long you've been with Cooper's, what your role is there, and how you've helped me out in the time that I've been here.
Yeah, no, I've been with Cooper's for about 9 years, and they've been fantastic. Great family company, Australian owned, and great quality beer.
Awesome. That's awesome. So obviously, you say great quality beer, and it is.
Yep.
What's the secret sauce? What makes them so good? And what sets Cooper's apart?
Well, it's when they talk about craft beer, it's kind of the grandfather of all craft, really, because they've got the home brew system. So most craft breweries that started in Australia would all probably start with a Cooper's home brew kit.
Right.
So, but the best thing that I like about the beer is that it's secondary fermentation process.
Right.
So that's the secret sauce, I believe.
All right, talk us through a little bit about that. Talk to the people a little bit about what that means and what the process is without getting too technical.
Yeah, so I'll keep it simple.
Yep.
So when they pour the beer into the vessel, whether it's a keg or a stubby or a can, they inject a little bit of yeast into the vessel, and from that, it just keeps fermenting. Okay. So from the fermenting, that's what carbonates the beer and gives it a little bit more flavour, and that's it.
Okay. That's
simple.
Little something simple, but keeps it, sets it apart from everyone else.
Yes.
Especially those big competitors out there. Let's talk a little bit technical still. Let's, steer down that side of the beer industry and talk a little bit about technicality, because everyone sees the final product. When you have a beer and it comes to the table, it's nice and cold with what everyone wants, and it's the type of beer that they've asked for. But, let's talk a little bit about the cleanliness of the beer lines and what type of issues arise. What do you see in venues when you're going around as the area manager? What are the types of things that you're looking for, and what do you see?
A lot has to do with the cleanliness and service of the beer lines. So if you're doing it, well, now actually you can do it about every 2 weeks. So the beer lines used to be porous. They're much better quality now, so they're not so porous, bringing in all the different flavours from the atmosphere around. So if you do it every 2 weeks, you're pretty much going to be right.
Okay.
So, and the sort of things that you're looking for is, when you're doing it, is the cleanliness of all your different fittings as well. So you can service at the same time. If you're doing it regularly, you're more likely to pick up on something that's going wrong.
Yeah. And the beer line cleanliness, talk to me a little bit about how that contributes to a great beer and what happens if it isn't clean.
If it's not clean, you pretty much notice it coming out when you're pouring the beer. You can have flecks in the actual beer. So if you're looking at the beer, you can see little flecks in it.
Yep.
But you can get a yeast infection in the beer. You can notice with the smell. It can become too heady or not heady at all.
Yep.
Or if you pour it and you have an infection, it's actually going to smell.
Yeah. Gee, when you go out for dinner and order a beer, you'd be all over those things, wouldn't you?
Sometimes.
Talking about going out for dinner and having a beer, glassware. Glassware is something that contributes. It's really important to contributing to a great beer. Tell me a little bit about what you think is important with glassware, and what type of glassware you recommend.
With the glass, well, it depends on which venue. Well, it's sort of what would you say? A venue preference.
Yep.
So we use our own glassware with Cooper's. Some people use it, some people don't. It's just a personal preference. But with the glassware and the cleanliness, I'd like to think you'd do it every week.
Yep.
Yes.
Cleaning them out, bottle brushing.
Yeah.
No chemical, hot water only.
Yeah.
They're the types of things you're talking about keeping the glassware clean.
Sorry, yeah. So you'd use your chemical to clean them every week.
Yep.
And then you would put them through the glass washer. And I'd do it probably 2 or 3 times. That's a personal preference again. So that gets rid of all your chemical and everything like that.
Yep.
And then you would pour a nice beer. So obviously after it gets chilled, you'd pour a nice beer and you'd see the lacing around the glass. Yep. It'd be nice and crystal clear. If the glass is not clear, you can actually see like little bubbles that cling to the surface of the glass or the inside of the glass.
Yeah.
And it could be sugar, oil, anything like that.
Yeah.
Beer for beer glasses, nothing else. No soft drinks, no coffee. Don't even put your coffee cups in the same glass washer. Keep your glasses away from the kitchen.
Yeah.
All those sorts of things.
Really important.
Yeah.
Tell me about beer trends. What are you seeing these days? The industry's got a long way. You talked about Cooper's starting as that craft beer company.
Yep.
People at home had their beer making kits and they were in Cooper's beer kit.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about where the industry's gone, where it's
Yeah.
where it's been, where it's at the moment, and what's
Yeah.
changed, and where you think we're going.
And well, that's the thing. Like they had the whole craft revolution and that sort of stuff. So I wouldn't call us craft anymore because we're such a big company. We sort of sit somewhere in between, but we are very mainstream.
Yeah.
But mainstream is still the biggest, and mainstream lagers are still the biggest and the most consumed in Australia.
Yep.
We have our little ale sort of territory over there, but we're venturing towards into the lager market because it is such a big market. And a lot of venues ask us for our lagers. So people are still very adventurous, but not as adventurous as what they were probably 5 to 10 years ago when the craft revolution started.
Why do you think that is? 10 years ago, people were more creative versus
Yeah.
now? What do you put that down to?
It was like a boom for me. It was like a boom because it seemed to be just a new thing.
Right.
And then there's a brewery opening up everywhere and everybody was trying and having fun with it. And then everybody else is sort of experimenting, which is fantastic. I thought it was great to see.
Yeah.
I really like trying all the different beers.
Yeah.
But people seem to be more, like now, people seem to be a little bit more health conscious. So they're going for, zero alcohol beers
Yeah.
or mid-strength beers because they're driving.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic. The non-alcoholic range, the mids, they're just the sales have increased dramatically. I know in my venue, non-alcoholic beer, non-alcoholic anything has increased. And that's really interesting to see because originally we put it down to RSA laws and we put it down to people driving and tougher laws out there with driving.
Yeah.
And it's important that we have a safe driving culture in this country.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting that the non-alcoholic wines and the non-alcoholic everything is just the industry's boomed?
Yeah.
Tell me about the non-alcoholic Cooper's product.
Yeah.
And how long it's been around for and why you think it's good.
Well, we had the Cooper's Barrel, which has been around for years. I'm pretty sure it was about the only one.
Yeah.
And then, so that's all, the whole industry has changed that way. And you've got all these, I don't know how many products there'd be now. You've only got to walk into the shelves in a supermarket or into a bottle shop where they've crept into as well. There could be 50 different types. And we've also got a new one coming out, which I haven't actually tasted. And that's Cooper's Zero.
Okay.
It's called. So yeah, I can't tell you anything about it.
Yep.
Because I only know it's in a nice looking can.
Going to be on tap or just in a stubby?
Just in a can.
In a can. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, which is another thing. People are creeping towards the preference of a can.
Okay.
Where stubbies is obviously still huge and very important.
Yep.
But the same thing with the can revolution. That's really come in fast.
Okay. That's really interesting.
Mm.
So tell me, as a rec, when you go around and you're looking at all different venues, what is it that you think makes Silvio's Italiano stand out from another venue?
That it's still family owned.
Yeah.
You're on the ground all day, every day.
Yep.
So that's the biggest thing that I see with venues that are successful.
Yep.
So if you're not, like people have some great managers out there.
Yeah.
But, seeing you on the tools every day, that's what I see works best.
Yeah. Thanks for that. That's really good. Yeah, so obviously, being a family-owned restaurant, I've had this for 8 years and started it from the ground up, built it from the beginning and grown it to where it is today. And there's been some tough times. COVID has obviously been in the middle of that and there's been some other contributing factors besides COVID. So it's certainly been a journey and the beer journey and food journey in amongst all of that has just been, the growth and the challenges and the changes in that period of time is quite interesting. We've got a range here on tap of the Cooper's range. And I remember speaking to you 8 years ago and saying, okay, let's chat beer lines, let's chat tap beer and talk about what we're putting in. And it was really important for me to get that range in that people liked, first of all, recognized. There needed to be some community recognition, social recognition, understood the brand awareness, but at the same time, contributing to that Italian flavor. So I have Moretti on tap as well. So
Yep.
That Moretti brand for me is really all about authenticity
Yep.
with the Italian experience at Silvio's Italiano. And, it's great that we can do that together in partnership with Cooper's and put that in. But and if you were looking at the Cooper's range up here at the moment, you needed a go-to beer, what is it that you would go to today and why? And what type of glass as well would you prefer it in?
Well, my favourite is the Cooper's Pale. It's hard to go past that.
Yep.
So, and I love it in a Cooper's glass.
Yep. Okay.
So
We're going to do that for you in a minute. Awesome.
Perfect.
And why? So you like that fruitiness of the pale?
For me, it's like the perfectly balanced beer.
Okay.
So it gives you that palate balance that you don't get. It's not too bitter, not too fruity, not too malty.
Yeah.
It's just the perfect balance.
Yeah. Really interesting because that pale ale pairs perfectly with our pizzas. So if we were to go with a San Daniel pizza, so the saltiness of the prosciutto, the rocket, and the buffalo mozzarella, you pair that with the pale and you've got that fruitiness come through.
Yeah.
It's a great combination. So whenever we're talking about pairing beer and pizzas, that's the combo we always go for. It's something that we like to recommend to people.
Yeah.
But for me, it's interesting. The other night we had a group in and my bartender said, I think we're going to go through a lot of mild tonight.
Yep.
I said, oh, why do you say that? Well, she goes, oh, we'll probably need a backup keg of a mild. And she goes, oh, a bunch of boys all on a golf trip.
Yeah.
Been drinking all day. And she goes, and I think they've had a bit, and it'd be interesting to see whether they go full strength or something a bit lighter. And I was like, oh, they're on the drink, they've been playing golf all day, and we'll have to manage as well, obviously. But sure enough, they went mild. So the full strength is always been something that's been really popular, but the mild these days is really taking off from a popularity point of view. Are you seeing that in sales at Cooper's?
Yeah, it's really climbing fast.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just the mid-strength Cooper's Pale Ale.
Yeah.
So it's much easier to have, like if you're going out for a long night or a dinner or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's what I'll go to if I'm not drinking Cooper's Pale.
Yeah.
So because I can just have a couple of those and then go home.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
good. Would you like a beer?
I do.
All right.
Please.
What would you like?
Cooper's Mild Ale, please.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Thank
Thank
you.
for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Alrighty.
For listeners who haven't pulled up a chair at Silvio's yet, how would you describe the atmosphere or vibe, and where does beer come into play?
Yeah, that's a really important question, actually, because warm and welcoming is how I would definitely want to describe Silvio's. It's something that we're aspiring to. Authenticity. The Italian authenticity is really important at Silvio's. I mean, my family came out here, my dad came out here on the boats after the Second World War and did that traditional Italian line, I suppose, of, heading up North Queensland, cutting the cane, worked in pubs. As a kid, I was raised in a pub in Mackay in North Queensland, the Boomerang Hotel.
Yeah.
Was one of the first ones. And funny story, I always remember as a kid, those little things that stick with you forever, was the old man used to shut down the pub at the end of the night, and he used to call out last drinks, and I used to sleep upstairs. I'd be upstairs in the bedroom, and where my bedroom was, there was a balcony and looked out over the street. And as the old man would call last drinks, he'd struggle to get people out of the pub. Eventually to the point where he'd have to kick them out. Come on, get out, kick out. And everyone's, getting out on the front of the pub, and they'd be on the main footpath, and they just wouldn't leave, and they caused chaos. And up on that balcony, we had a fire hose, one of those real fire hoses on the wall. And the old man used to come upstairs, through the bedroom, out onto the balcony, get the fire hose, unreel it, and actually hose everybody down on the footpath. Thought it was the only way you could get them to leave. And as a kid, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. And it was entertainment for me. It was something I really loved. But so I was raised in pubs as a kid, and then he moved to the Mackay Golf Club. He used to manage the Mackay Golf Club for quite some time. So I was raised in that area as well. So that authentic, Dad came over, he was on the boats, he did all of that, he worked in the pubs and motels, he ran motels as well. And so for me, it's all about Silvio's Italiano is named after him. My dad's name is Silvio.
Yep.
And so for me, it's all about authenticity and everything Italian, doing it the proper way. It's one question that we ask ourselves all the time in everything that we do, whether we're making pizza, whether we're making pasta, fresh pasta, whatever it might be. Is it the right way? Is it authentic? It's a really important part of who we are as a business. And obviously that family style comfort is the vibe and the atmosphere that we're looking for.
Yep.
We want it casual, but we want polished. We don't want it to be so laid back that it's too laid back. So
Yeah.
so that's what we really look for in the vibe and the atmosphere in the venue.
Well, sure, that certainly shows.
Oh, thanks, mate.
You have a tight, focused 5-tap setup, pouring Coopers and Moretti. What drove that lineup, and how's the response been?
Yeah, look, the lineup's great. I mean, I've had that, like I said, for quite a while. It's not particularly by chance that we did that. It's all about knowing our crowd, knowing who they are and what they want. The Moretti is all about that authenticity I was talking about, making sure we've got Italian beer on tap. We've got other Italian beers by the stubby and can as well. But, the Cooper's range was really important for us because, knowing you, smaller business, matched in with what's important for us in our culture. Having that range is popular. People love it. People come in, they recognise, for years they've recognised the green label on the Cooper's Pale.
Yeah.
People walk in, have dinner and say, I'll have a green, thanks. And straight away, they're a Cooper's drinker and they're having their pale. We've got the Sapporo in as well, which is obviously Cooper's a product that they're promoting and distributing.
Because we changed a few, didn't we?
We have over the years.
Right.
And the Sapporo is something that's been really increasing in sales as well, which is good.
Yeah.
But, the mild's taken off, as we talked about before, because people are looking at that low alcohol level, looking at driving, how they're getting home. And the dry is also moving. Really interesting.
Dry's going fast at the moment.
Yeah, it's taking an interesting chunk of the market. So,
So
that's why I wanted to put that range on. I've got obviously other beers, but the tap beer having a beautiful display as well.
Yeah.
People walk in, they see the display, they see the Cooper's range, and they love it. And those tap beer drinkers, they'll straight away grab a pint.
Fantastic. Your reputation for consistently serving cold beer is solid. What systems and standards do you have in place behind the bar to maintain that quality?
Yeah, that's a good one, because those systems and processes in place that we have are something that we need to have everywhere. So whether it's in the kitchen, whether it's in the coffee area, whether it's in the bar, really important to have, standard operating procedures and processes and systems in place. So whether it's we're coming in at the first start of the day, turning on the gas lines for the beer, making sure all our glasses are clean, checking the keg room, swirling the kegs, making sure that the pale kegs had a good swirl, making sure that we've got stock of everything, and that the beers are running cleanly through. Really important before the start of every day. Closing down procedures as well. But just checking that every beer goes out right.
Yeah.
Just as we want to check that every meal goes out properly and every coffee goes out properly. It's really important to get those processes right.
Yeah. Well, it tastes good. Schooners might be more common, but you serve pints. What's behind that choice, and how does that align with your customer satisfaction?
Yeah, so that's something I've only just brought in recently, actually, the pints. And the reason behind that is a little bit of a saying: sit, savour, and stay. Mm-hmm. We want them to sit, we want them to savour the moment, and we want them to stay. We want them to enjoy the venue, enjoy their experience. And with a pint, we've obviously got more volume there, and they're going to sit longer. And it's nice to sit there with a pint, nice heavy glass.
You can really chat over a pint.
Yeah, it's cold. It goes in at the right temperature. It's cold, and you can sit there and, it's like when you're back in those days over in England when I travelled through Europe, and you're in those pubs and they've got the low roofs, and you've got a pint, and then you're sitting there chatting for ages, and it just brings you back to those moments. I love drinking a beer out of a pint.
Yeah, great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you lean into seasonal rotations, or how do you strike that balance?
Yeah, good one. Winter, dark beer. I'm not a dark beer drinker. Never have been. Not a stout, not a Guinness drinker, but many people are. So, winter time, that's when people are tending to go towards those beers. So we'll bring in that range. I'll often chat to you and say, right, what have you got? Have you got a special keg happening? Or let's get something on tap, or let's bring this in. And that's really where I lead towards with seasonal. And then obviously from a special perspective, if you've got any kegs that are coming out that you say to me is good, we'll put that on. We'll promote it through the restaurant, through the venue. We'll make sure the team have had a drink of it and taste it and know the difference and why we put that on. That's really what we do with seasonal rotation.
Yeah, It's a good thought, especially at the moment with the dark beers. Dark beers are really coming back.
Yeah.
We've
Okay.
put the Cooper's Dark in a can. So just out from people asking and that sort of stuff. But it seems over the last 12 to 16 months, Cooper's Dark beers altogether, and especially ales, are really, really, really coming in.
Okay.
So I've got a few in the shed aging at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Well, we might have to have a drink over one of those.
We will, and a lamb ragout.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.